Hello traders, this is Rich from tradesight. Here's a look at our market-leading stocks via our proprietary scans for the coming session. This is going to be for Thursday, September 11th, 2014. Got a little bit of a lean to the buy side here, but it's not really enough things with signals here to be decisive. I think the big feature here is that at least we have the absence of any sell conditions in the Nasdaq patch. Got a couple deviations. Obviously, we've got there's open close deviation and a VWAP deviation in Apple, supported by a volume bump. Got some really positive action in Biogen. That's 2% above the day's open and nicely above the day's VWAP. That was on a suspiciously low volume. Altera's flirting with a downside CPS on a volume bump. eBay's got a pretty good volume bump. That one's getting beat up today pretty good, but it's actually above the VWAP. So sellers are finding bids for what they're offering out there, at least right now. Moving on to the financials, really no signals locked in here, so not really seeing too much in this sector. The broker-dealers are actually pretty strong today, so keep an eye on those tomorrow. Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, all pretty positive. Got a volume bump, probably brewing in Visa, and we also might get one in MasterCard. Two sister stocks there, so keep an eye on those. They are attracting trading interest. Moving on to the energy names, these are in motion here. We only have one signal, unfortunately, CHK, but look at the volume here. Arch, BP, Chevron, and Valero all have some pretty good volume. Valero's especially. We keep an eye on Tesoro. We try to scalp in Tesoro today. It was a little too late in the day. That one didn't work, but these are definitely on the radar. And moving on to the market generals. Market generals look pretty similar to what we're seeing in the Nasdaq patch. Better to buy here, but not decisively so with the absence of sells. Caterpillar's got a contra candle to the upside on volume, so watch that. Coca-Cola has an upside CPS coming off range low with some volume. McDonald's is actually going to be putting up a very strong candle on the daily chart, 2.5% above the day's open almost, and on good volume. VMware's got an upside CPS, but that one's on just barely so volume today. Take a look at the housing names. NVR's got a volume bump, got an upside CPS, and DHI. Hovnanian has an upside RPS, but I'm not that impressed with the volume today. UPS has a contra candle to the upside in the transportation group, and most of that group is fairly weak today, except for the airlines. The airlines, as you can see with American Airlines here, is showing some strength. Finally, the commodities. I think gold's trying to get its footing here again, so keep an eye on this. Got an upside CPS and AA, not a precious metal name, but look at ADX. Look at the volume here. They're ringing out a little bit here, so that could be interesting for tomorrow. Monsanto's got a volume bump, and potash also has a volume bump to work with for tomorrow. All right, folks. As always, thanks for listening. This has been Rich for tradesight.